Hello, my name is Kevin and welcome to the Love Decanters channel. So this is part 6 of my visit to the Antiquarium in Weedon Bec in Northamptonshire. And yeah, in this part we're going to be diving headlong into figuring out how to identify North American carnival glass, because there's going to be there's a whole shelf. So, and I plough through some of it and just show you how I do it, because up until now, whenever I've tried to figure out what a pattern was, using a couple of websites, I've pretty much got a fairly, 95% success rate. So I'll just run you through me doing a few pieces off that shelf. My original thought I was going to do them all, and I just thought, no, this is going to be too boring. But I did some. So yeah. So with that said, let's get on. Starting with the carnival glass, and then we'll go and look at some other things afterwards. So yeah, here we go. Whole bunch of carnival glass. It looks American. So if I go through these slowly, have a good look at them, I might be able to find them. They're not patterns I recognise as having looked up before. This is probably the most valuable bit here because it's in green and it's bigger. Yeah, this is interesting. Little tumbler thing here. But yeah, they're not ones I've looked at before, so, and I'm not an expert on this stuff. So we're looking at David Doty's Carnival Glass website, and yeah, so I've gone into the bowl section in there, so looking for that bowl, that first bowl. I'm not going to do everything, but I'm going to do quite a bit. But the first bowl, bottom left, is what we're looking at here, and this is the closest one I can get. You can just basically just scroll and scroll, but yeah, this is the closest one. It says Pansy. You click on it, and it comes up. And actually, the one we were looking at has like a quilted surface like this, so it's more like this one but a bit flatter. So appeared on reissued purple bowls in 1981 with nappies. At the time, I don't know what that means, but anyway, they're not actually telling you when it was originally made or anything, but yeah. There's a flatter one, it's still not quite the same. That one's a bit more orangey looking. But anyway, what we can do is if we go to the Carnival Glass website, we can look it up. If I actually go back a page here, there's a whole bunch of pansy stuff that they're selling, or some of it's sold. But the bowl that's like the one we were looking at is this one here. So they have one, and it's for sale, and it's $55, circa 1911, back by quilted pattern. So that's what we were looking at, and yeah, so it was £8, the one that on the label I could see. So, and this is what I mean about the difference between UK prices and US prices. You definitely see a clear difference here. £8 is actually pretty cheap for this kind of glass. Usually they're sort of like in that £10–15 range. So yeah, £8 is a very good price for a piece of North American glass by Imperial is the name of the company, who I'm not really that familiar with, but anyway, that's who it's by. So the next thing I'd pick out is another bowl. I'm not going to do the smaller things, I think. It's this one here. It's another Imperial one, open rose, and in the other one they call it open rose. I think that marigold, but I think that relates to the colour of the bowl. So it's like this. It's got little buds on it like this, and a couple of flowers. A small ruffled berry bowl sold for £525 dollars. So you're still talking near £500 for that piece. That is crazed. Anyway, if we go back to Imperial, they've got a bowl that's similar to the one we were looking at. It's this one here. The one we were looking at is more curved upwards, but it's this colour. And it's $40. This has got the original label, and they're saying it's from 1962. So it's not that old. Yeah, it's just like 70 years. God, no, that's no 60 years old. 61. Yeah, still feeling really old. It's not helping me. Anyway, yes. So it's $40, 1962, and that one's got the original label on. But the one that we saw, that is more like a rounded bowl as opposed to a plate. Yeah, that was £6. So yeah, again, price difference. So back again with David Doty, we were looking at the green bowl that was at the back, and it's called Two Flowers. All I'm doing is just scrolling through these ones and looking for something that looks the same. And it's by Fenton. Here it is, got this like wavy bit on the outside, and then these sort of stylized like cartoon flowers in the middle, running around here, and then there's another flower in the middle. But anyway, here it is. The one we had was a plate like this a bit, but in a greener colour. But anyway, there's no date with this one. But let's go and have a look at Carnival Glass website. I found this one, which is, it's got a different colour base. So this one's blue underneath, can you see? The glass is blue underneath, the other one was green. Yeah, I'm not sure if it's exactly the same. Yeah, it's about the same, I think. So $30, which is the closest in price, because that one, the green one there, was more expensive. It was £12. And the difference will be that this is probably less rare compared to some of the others in the American site, but in the UK we're just going by look, and green looks nicer than the orange ones. I think that's maybe what they're going by. So they go, yeah, we'll make the orange ones, the more common orange ones, cheaper, and the green one a little bit more, £12. There you go. And that's what it's about in the UK. It's like, how does it look? Does it look nice and shiny? Has it got good colours? That, you know, is it a nice shape? In America, people are collecting this stuff seriously, and they're looking for, it doesn't matter, it probably does, but there's things that people will be looking for specifically because it looks so good, but also they'll be looking for things that are particularly rare as well. And that's why we saw that other one where it was $525 or whatever. So this is the last piece. I'm not going to laboriously go through all the little bits and pieces. So this is the last piece I'm going to look at, and it's called Grape Wreath by Millersburg. In fact, on the page on the front it came from is Grape Wreath variant. Okay, and I figured what that means is that the centres are all different, and the one we have has got a different centre again, but the bit around the outside is very similar. I think it's closer to this one. But anyway, Millersburg, it's another company. Let's go and have a look. I think this is a rarer pattern because the prices are a bit more. So again, they've only got 3 bowls, so that kind of tells you it's rarer, because for some of the other patterns they've got quite a lot of things that they've sold. And if we look at this one, and the date is 1909, so this is one of the older pieces, and this one's $140. And yeah, so it's not 6 3/4. Yeah, it's a slightly smaller bowl than some of the others. So and then if we have a look at the other one, it's this one here, and it's $75. It looks like a very similar bowl. It's the same. Is it the same size? Same size exactly. But the other one must be a rarer colour, and hence the price difference. And I think they must be rarer than the others in general, because even the cheap one is $75. So yeah, as I said, I'm not going to go through every single piece in there, but this gives you an idea of, you know, if you see this American Carnival glass using these two resources, it's easy to pin them down, find out a bit about them, find out what they're worth in America anyway. But it gives you a bit of, these prices will give you a relativity in relation to rareness, I suppose. So anyway, so let's just move on. Stop doing carnival glass. I can't think there's any more. But anyway, yeah, stop doing carnival glass for now. Let's move on. And in amongst the pottery is an Acida vase, bud vase. Well, it's a bit big for a bud vase. It's for a couple of flowers, I would say. From the about 1970 or so. And it's not a common one. That's that for you don't see you normally see the usual bubble based bud vases, not this type. Looking at the Acida catalogue I've downloaded from the Mats Lindor website. This is the 1971-73 catalogue, and yeah, so all of these on here are rare ones that I don't think I really see, but this is the one that we were looking at. I will say Mats Lindor's done a really good job with these catalogues, because look at this. If I scroll in, you can see it's a C49/3, and then it's a vase and height, and then we've got this color coding here. Okay, it's an A. Okay, let me show you how I know, because with the Mats Lindor stuff you get the page with the colors on, and there is amethyst. So yeah, there we go. A less common one, usually see the what's known as the bone bud vases with the blob at the bottom with the bubbles in, and the sort of like open mouth at the top. But yeah, this is a different one. So among all these bits of glass in here, there's this piece here, frosted. Oh, I think this is probably from the 1860s or 70s or something like that. Yeah, that's sticking out. Has it got a price on it? No. But yeah, that's the bit that sticks out amongst them. This book is The Identification of English Press Glass by Jenny Thompson. Now, I haven't been able to find that an exact match for that glass that I was looking at, but I have found different features. So I'm going to show you some things on different pages, and we're starting with this one. And the thing that's unusual feature that's on this glass is it's got a little bit of Greek keying here, and I think this is actually supposed to be frosted, but this bit around the base is very like what we were looking at, and I don't remember seeing that before. So yeah, and this is dated to 1877. Okay, so let's move on a few more pages. So this time it's a celery vase. Again, got the Greek key pattern. It's got a similar top and a similar bottom, this one, but this stem is very different. This bit here is very different, so it's not the same. And this was dated to 1865. I have another glass here. I think this is another celery vase. Yeah, so it's a bit too tall. The top's not the same. It's got ribbing, but it's not the Greek key pan. I know these are frosted. The stem is not quite the same. It's a bit like that, I think. That bit there's not in it, but yeah, and this is 1865 as well. And this is the final glass we're looking at, the one in the middle there. The stem on that one is the same as what we're looking for, and that's 1885. So yeah, we've got a range of dates there from 1865 to 1885. I think it's probably near the 65 end of the road. But yeah, so it's a nice old piece, probably knocking on to 150 years old. A couple of big fruit bowls or salad bowls up here. My mum's got this one, and I think it's got Made in France written on it, so it's probably J.D. Durant, Arca Rock or somebody like that. I think this one here is an Arca Rock one, but it's not a very common one. Little plum blossom, well, it's a big plum blossom vase. It's Chinese from the 70s. I think I said before, the China National Light Industrial Products Import-Export Corporation. But that's quite a decent size one. And it's only £10, which is a very good price for one of those. Yeah, this is a bit of Empoli, I don't know anything more than that about it. I'm looking at an article at the glassmuseum.com by Angela Bowie, and yeah, it's called Chinese Reproduction, not Victorian Glass. These vases are normally listed as Murano, though, at least in the UK. I think this lady's from New Zealand. But anyway, she's extracted some stuff from the Pottery Gazette and Trade. Let me get this right. Pottery Gazette and Glass Trade Review from 1972. And if I scroll down, this is the vase we were looking at here, which is the FB119, the smaller one. And yeah, so it's quite interesting. There's quite a few vases in here, and some of them you almost never see. You see these ones, not seen these ones. Not seen these either, especially, I might have seen this one, but definitely not that one. Yeah, it's quite interesting from that point of view that obviously there were some of the things that were very popular in the 70s, and these ones like this were definitely popular, and these frilly ones like this were definitely popular. So yeah, that kind of style was actually in, otherwise we wouldn't see so many. Somebody was buying them, and yeah, they're here now. So you've got this big Empoli thing here, and another cedar bud vase here. But this is interesting. It looks kind of homemade almost. Just like someone's plonked a bit of glass into the little square and judged it up the sides a bit, and away you go. So I've had a look around to see what I can find that might be similar, or, you know, even a match. I haven't found any matches, but I started with Brutalist's glass ashtray because that's the kind of style it is, and I went with just a square cast ashtray. And the more ashtrays that I look at, the more I think the one that we were looking at is a homemade one, because even the cheaper ones are not as rough and ready as that one. That one appears to be really rough and ready, but at the same time it's kind of got its own charm. Yeah, I kind of liked it, but yeah, there's nothing like it. Even the cast ones that I've been able to find have a better finish than that one, and I think to produce that finish in a mass production would be quite difficult. So yeah, I'm going to go with the fact that it's a home, not necessarily homemade, but it's an art thing. Someone has made it as a one-off, etc. So I think it's more of a one-off type thing. Someone's messing around with glass and having a go at this. This is interesting because it says it's crystal darks. Polar bear in its cub, I think it is. And
but it's like something we saw earlier today, so I might be able to work that one out. And
as we'd seen the dolphins earlier, I was wondering if there were more of these crystal dark paperweights with animals on. So I started doing a search, and here we've got one which is a squirrel. We'll see, with the same frosted base. What's that one? Can't see what that. It looks like it's a fish. There are more in here. There is actually the dolphin, but it's a bit different. It's got a blue streak in it with a clear base, that one. So that's a bit different. Then you've got a cat, a horse, a bison, an owl. Can't tell what that is. Moose, a horse, a bird. Yeah, that looks like it's a turkey or something. Little funny African something. We've got quail anyway. Yeah, it looks like another. I think that might be the same dog as earlier. Quail again. Yeah, there's a limit to how many there are, but it looks like there's at least 10 different animals that they were doing in the same, with the frosted base, sort of like naturalistic, and yeah, it seems to be a thing, and quite a bit few, because they're not that ancient. Quite a few of them are labelled. So what is that one there? It says African something. Let me have a look. African circus lion. Okay. Anyway, so it's just a little interesting aside to see what else there were with these frosted bases. So if I see them in the future, I know what I'm looking for. And look, that one's got the label on it still.
this is an interesting bowl as well down here. Looks very mid-century modern, but I don't recognise it at all. Yeah, it's a centrifuge cast, but a thin one. So it might be people that made the most of those kind of thin style ones like this. People like Arca Rock. Look at this. It's nice to see things. Some sort of pressed or cast glass. I don't know how it's put together, but it's crystal darks, made in France. And yeah, I don't recognise. That looks like it's yeah, I'm not certain. Mats Johansson piece, but I'm not definite. Yeah, handbags, glass handbags like this with the little blibbies on the ends here. These are Chinese. What's it called? Vincenza Crafts or something like that, I think. Yeah, I don't recognise the. Oh, that might be a Murano. Looking at that base, I think it might be a Murano one. Let me see what it says on it. Dun, 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 dun. Come on, I don't want to knock you over. Murano style. Might be, might not be, might be real.
So the label you see on those handbags normally says Vincenza Collection Handmade, and yeah, so I put in just Vincenza Glass Collection in there, and this is because I didn't want to do handbag. I just wanted to see what else comes up, and yeah, you can get hats as well. Yeah, stylish. You can have a glass handbag and hat, and yeah, but they're doing sort of like normal vases as well. That's quite a nice one. That's quite stylish. Not so keen on this or this, but yeah. But I did find something quite interesting. This here, look, we can look at it here. Unfortunately, I can't expand this anymore. I'll have to save the image. But yeah, it's like the whole range is, or as of the day that they printed this, the range of handbags. And yeah, I see some of these. I don't really see these ones so much, but these ones, yeah. So that's quite interesting. That I need to look out for one of those labels myself and get a good photo of it, because I'm sure I've seen a paper label with them before, but I never really unfolded it and had a look. So next time I definitely will. I nearly forgot to say, these are made in China, by the way. So yeah, and they were on sale apparently at TK Maxx several years ago. I don't know if they're still on sale today though. So I hope you enjoyed that. So yeah, now there was a little revelation there. Crystal dark label. Yeah, so I see those kind of paperweights occasionally. I'll just skim by them because I have no idea how to find them. And as soon as you find one with a label, they have a certain look to them. You can use that to extrapolate other paperweights from the same range. So yeah, that was quite a nice little thing. Yeah, I think that's the end. So all the references I used will be in the description as well as all the contact details for the Antiquarium in Weedon Bec. And yes, and please remember to like and subscribe, because it does help my channel, helps me get more viewers in, bring more people into the glass collecting arena. More the merrier. And yeah, so thank you for watching and have a good night. Good night.